not going to split itself, fellas. It's just not.
Hey Todd, I got one with metal in it too. That's just 1/4 of that round. Takes a whole darn splitter.
Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel today. My name's Matt, and this is Firewood in the Field. Today I'm out here going to try to finish up these big red oak chunks. These are a bunch of quarters. I had a big red oak log that if you've been following the channel for a little while, you might have seen it in a bunch of my videos. I had this tree service drop, and there was some 42-inch diameter red oak, and it was cut into about 3 sections. Well, I finally got around to cutting that up. Also, I've noticed quite a bit of new subscribers here lately. I'll thank all my subscribers, thank everybody for chiming in, but if you're new, welcome. So with that, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to maybe do a quick little Woodyard walk. I haven't given anybody an update on how things have been progressing, so we'll just close you on over. So I got this little pile of oak rounds, mostly red, maybe a little bit of white oak. That's been sitting there for a little while, but this was Mapleville. Some of my previous videos, it's all split up. These are remnants from that big oak log. I'm actually going to give this. I've got a customer that is just looking for some wood to make firewood for himself. Some of this is too knotty, I don't feel like messing with it, or these are really big cookies. You know that this one here is tapered because that's where the tree surface cut was. So it's like 15 inches here, but the other end's like 7. If I really was hurting for wood, I'd keep it for myself, but I'm good. Happy to give this to a customer. He's happy to get it. And then all of these totes that I had full of the maple and the ash rounds, where we were guessing how many totes I'd get. And moving out to the actual wood yard, I've got, this is oak right here, and only one of these totes is seasoned. So these two I just split like in the past week. In fact, this is one of my dump totes. I got the front face of this cut out. I have a couple customers I deliver a face cord to, so I'm going to try just dump that into the dump truck. So that's my last seasoned tote to go to the roadside stand. I've got one more over there in the barn, but sales have slowed down with the warmer weather, and then January, a lot of people already have the firewood that they need for the year. And one lone tote down there. But the good news is what I'll show behind me here in just a second, if I can get the camera right, is all this. So I've got 15 totes of ash and maple mix. That's all that dump truck load score that I got. Different dump truck load than the than the big oak. And I don't have my rain caps on everything. We don't have any rain in the forecast. I split all this within the past week. I like to leave it uncovered for a little while if I can, especially if there's no rain. And then down there at the end, those 4 at the end that don't have the covers on, those are my oldest totes out of this run. It's only been split for about a month, and I'll need to use this next. So we've got no rain in the forecast and some warmer weather. I'm trying to cash in on as much drying as I can. With that, let me ask you all a question. How long do you season your firewood? Do you use a moisture meter to check? Do you go based on time? Do you knock pieces together and see what they sound like? I like to use a moisture meter, and I may do a video on this later, but a lot of this ash was standing dead. And even though it's only been split for a month, if I stick my moisture meter in one of these pieces of ash, it's coming up like 15-16%. Now, that's not me re-splitting it and checking, but my experience, if it's doing 16 to 17% on the outside of the split, once I re-split that, it's still going to be below 20 or maybe right at it. So I kind of wish I'd split some of this ash by itself, so I would at least have like one tote ready to go really quick. The maple's not far. I didn't split any open, but I tested a couple pieces of the maple in this first tote, and this has only been split for a month, and it was reading like 21-22% on all the maples that I tested, and that's before re-splitting, so those are probably going to be 25-26. So I like to let it go a little longer if I can. But anyway, that's a little Woodyard tour update. I'm only out here after work, so I just got a couple hours. I'm going to try to knock out these red oak chunks because we do have some rain in the forecast, and I'd like to get all this wood that's on the ground off the ground. All those rounds that were staged, they're sitting on skids, so they're all right. And then if I get enough time this week, I haven't done any Woodyard cleanup. I've been splitting, I split about 7 cords to do any cleanup, so I'd like to put the rake on the tractor, clean up all this slash and trash, and get it out of here. And all the sawdust from noodling, scrape all that up. let me get the camera set up with the PowerSplit, and I'm sure I'll get at least a tote out of these quarters, maybe more than one, but I'm just gonna go until I can't see no more because I'm out of daylight. And I am still loving the PowerSplit. I do have the bigger tires. If you didn't catch my earlier video, I got a video out where I showed about fitting larger wheels and tires to raise the table height. They do offer this machine at a higher table than what mine came with. It's pre-owned. And for today, you can see I've got a 2x8 under the one wheel and the jack all the way down, and that worked out to be just right. It's the little bubble and the level lined up really, really well. I added a little add-on little hour meter down there, just a Amazon deal, just to help me keep track of when I need to change oil. But so far, yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. I love this machine.
That's just 1/4 of that round. Takes a whole darn splitter. Todd, I got one with metal in it too. This was about a foot deep inside this round. An old eye bolt or something. Yeah, that was making a big metal streak. Didn't hurt the splitter. Glad it was deep enough it didn't cut it with my saw. Try to split around that. Split right there. I'll just keep that as a decoration.
up my goal for tonight. I wanted to get 1 tote split tonight after work. The weather looks good for tomorrow. As long as I get out of work at my normal time, I should be able to get out here and split another tote. Got quite a few more of these quarters left. There's several more off camera that you can't currently see. A couple things you may have noticed. Gotta be safe running this stuff. Those rounds were popping like crazy. But it's not gonna split itself. Even sometimes if it, you gotta be careful and watch what you're doing. Sometimes it's work. It can be fun work, but it doesn't happen if you don't get out there and do it. So if you can, get out there, split some wood, be healthy, be happy, be safe. Matt at Firewood in the Field. We'll see you next time.